When I made a video about the cultural front lines, I missed an opportunity to point out where the borders actually are, and I think I do that now in this separate video. So let's start with the scene. Every hierarchical system has a small leadership and a large base of people who basically serve and have there not a lot of control over their own lives. For the moment, it does not matter if this is good, bad, cultural, whatever. Quite often this system is built up as following: the first percent of the first percent, that is the super rich dudes, a handful of people who rule more or less everything, and then there is the rest of the 1%, the rich ones who rule over the rest, or in the name of the 1% of the 1%. Their goal is normally to get to the last level. Most of them fail, of course. And there is the rich service layer, lawyers, doctors, artists, managers, and so on, who in essence are the house slaves of the rich. They get good money for relative useless things they do, but since they do these useless things for those with all the money, well, they get a lot of money, and these people have something like a survivor's guilt. Normally, they know that they are pretty useless and ask themselves, why do I have a Mercedes and others starve to death? That's unfair. We have to do something that leads to a situation where everybody does as little as I do and get as much money as I get. The problem is the rich only need 19% of us as house slaves, but 80% as field slaves. And this is one of the things you have to show these rich brats. They are rich because they work for the richest. However, then next is the middle class, followed by the poor. So communists and socialists tells us that the rich are bad and the poor are good, and mark a horizontal limit. Above that, they are the evil oppressors. Below that, this is the noble poors. Capitalists draw the line vertically. They say that every social layer has people who are productive and therefore good for society, and you have predatory elements who don't want to participate in building a society but essentially steal from everybody else. And I have to say, this has a lot of appeal. The point of the center is somewhat of a mixture of both. It takes into account that there are authoritarian ideas and individualistic ideas. There is only one reason to be individualistic, and this is you want to be an individual. But there are two reasons to be authoritarian. First, you want to rule, and second, you want to follow. But both hate individualists, naturally. But let's go down up. The top of the top is authoritarian because they want to rule, and they rule already. The next layer is almost completely authoritarian because, well, they want to rule. The service layer, on the other hand, is used to serve and know that they are rich because they serve. They are authoritarian to a large degree because they want to serve and think that being a nice slave will make the world a better place. The middle class is the rebellious class. They know that they are screwed over. Still, a lot of them want to become rulers or at least house slaves, so they imitate more or less mostly the service class. And then there is the lowest class who behaves pretty 50-50. They are used to be slaves and most of them have given up, but sometimes a bit of rebellion spark comes out from the middle class and they start to rebel. The important thing here is that the authoritarian bloc is in itself divided into two branches: those who want to serve and those who want to rule. And here we see the problem of the center. We can't even make a straight line that is easier to understand. But if you seek for a map of the cultural war lines, I think that's it. It's not between the rich and the poor, and it's not really about those who are productive against those who want to steal, although this situation makes more sense than the communist notion. The real struggle is between those of us who want to be left alone and those who don't want to leave us alone, either because they want to rule us or because they think that we should serve like they do. What are your thoughts to that? Let me know, keep in touch, and have a wonderful time.